11 has been changed to a non-published number.
Warning, the following show contains conservative posturing, radical Christian ideas, and may offend pagans, Wiccans, Islamic fundamentalists, and other unenlightened individuals. Callers and guests may be subjected to brash and offensive comments by the hosts and any other type of bullying tactics available. But that's okay. We know why you're here.
This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
Tonight is Monday, July 14th, 2008.
What's up, Wotu? This is Jay Scott.
I was about to respond there for you.
Not much. Oh, me.
Well, and this is Chuck Browder here.
Sitting in for
your frequent guest host.
Yeah, no joke. Just start calling this World of the Unexplained with Jay Scott and Chuck Browder.
Well, you can find me along with Jay Scott on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock as well.
Actually, you can find me along with Chuck Browder on Wednesday nights.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I'm taking second chair on that now. That's your baby. Oh, man.
Well, how did I say it? Did I say you along with me? Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm just so gracious.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I'm on your show right now.
Yeah, until it comes to passing out business cards, but I'm not even going to go there.
A certain Republican convention.
Yeah.
Many months ago. That must have hit a sore spot.
Yeah, it just keeps on going, doesn't it? All righty. Oh, yeah, I saw this story, actually. It's funny that Dee brings this up. In Orlando, Florida, a Florida man says he'll name his son after a morning radio team in exchange for $100 worth of gasoline. Apparently, the show hosts were offering $100 in gas for the most creative swap. And the host planned to be on hand when the baby is born this coming winter to ensure his name is Dixon and Willoughby Parton, WKMG said. He'll get his gas card as soon as the birth certificate is signed.
And literally, Ann will be in his name.
Literally, Ann's going to be in his name, too?
Yes.
Oh, this guy's got I don't know, some publicist.
It's $100, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is some stunt by the R&D department, or
it would have to be.
It's Chevy for hybrid cars.
Well, I just think it's a heck of a swap there if you're the morning show host. It seems like a really good way to yell "syndicate me, please." What do you think?
Well, I didn't catch it. What morning show?
It's a morning show in Florida.
Yeah,
a morning radio team.
They probably need all the publicity they can get.
I'm sure.
I'm sure that's what this is all about.
It's in Orlando.
Are they FM?
Probably not even that. I don't even know. Probably not. I don't know. It doesn't even tell the station.
I don't know of too many AM morning zoo crew shows.
Yeah, morning radio team
on AM radio.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't. There's quite a bit of flutter in
we're late night. AM's late night, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, really, anytime.
Well, think about it.
Before
AM
dusk, you got problems.
AM, you expand so much at night.
Well, it's amplitude modulated as opposed to frequency modulated.
Well, there we go. Yeah, Chuck, Mr. Technical. Chuck, the science guy.
Yes. Doctor in Scientology.
Science.
Call you Mr. Wizard.
I hope
Wizard.
not. I hope I never become affiliated with Scientology.
Yeah, I hope not either.
They have to drug me and hit me over the head and put me in a burlap sack, take me out to the middle of the Mojave. Or
you never know, man.
Death
That
Valley.
might turn Tom Cruise on. I don't know. I've heard stories.
That's what gets. I'm not even going to go there.
Anyway, Oklahoma City, a church there called off plans to give away a semi-automatic assault rifle at a weekend gathering of teenagers, the pastor said. Apparently, the Baptist church was going to give away the weapon as a way of encouraging attendance at the gathering, but plans changed when one of the event's organizers was unable to attend. They anticipated hundreds of teenagers from as far away as Canada. They had 21 hours of preaching and teaching throughout the week. And the church website featured a video showing a shooting competitions from last year's conference. A gun was given away last year, but this year the organizers decided to highlight the giveaway in productions for the conference. The pastor told the TV station the church wasn't putting a weapon in the hand of somebody that doesn't respect it. who they're going to go out and kill someone, of course. So it's been taken away from the website, unfortunately, because we would really love to pump that site up. But they said the church is going to give away another gun next year, though. So that's good stuff.
You know, how funny is that? I mean, how...
An old gun giveaway.
Yeah. I'm sure the ATF was, like, hanging out.
Why, ATF? You think they were scoping out the joint for one gun?
One semi-automatic firearm
Sure, man.
Give to a child.
Yeah.
They'll find 16 hidden others when they blow it up like they did in Waco. Hey, man, it's got all the makings of Waco. We've got a church. We've got 20-some hours of preaching and teaching. And we've got guns. Oh, this can be a problem.
You're missing a few things there. You know,
True, yeah.
The Jesus Rock Band.
Jesus Rock Band?
Yeah, you knew he was in a band, right? David Koresh?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've been talking, we need to get David Thibodeau on this show, his drummer.
We should. I'd like that.
Yeah. Have him square off with who was that guy? The Webb Hubble. I think he was the one who gave the okay on it. He was the under deputy attorney general or what Department of Justice.
I think we'll make a whole weekend of watching loose change type documentaries along with the Waco stuff, and get all crazy.
Oh, you can't even compare the two. That loose change is just garbage.
I haven't seen it.
No, it's trash. Man.
Is it bad?
Yeah. I mean, we discussed it, I guess, with a couple different guests on Third Rail.
Oh, wait, isn't what's his name, a 9/11 truther now too?
Who?
Former governor Jesse the Body Ventura.
I didn't know that. Is he? Because
I think so.
There are rumors, not to get too political here, but there are rumors now that he may be running against Norm Coleman and Al Franken up in Minnesota for Senate.
Well, someone needs to run against Al Franken.
Yeah, I don't know. Norm Coleman, I don't know about him either. He's pretty rough. But
anyway, in the news.
Yeah, I guess how do we get started on all this? The 9/11 truthers and
yeah. Everybody's getting their bailouts now in the news.
Yeah.
Did you see that New Yorker cover
with what was it?
Michelle Obama.
I can't remember how she was dressed.
She had like a machine gun slung over her back.
It was pretty. I mean, it's satirical. They always have satirical covers, but that one may have been maybe a little over the top.
Yeah.
Well, especially with all the rumors on the internet that Obama is a gay Muslim terrorist.
He is, dude. He's a gay Muslim terrorist.
I'm pretty sure that none of the three of those are actually true. But I saw a poll today that about 17% of Americans think, for some reason or another, probably because of right-wing radio or the internet, that Obama is a Muslim.
I'm part of the vast right-wing conspiracy.
That he grew up in a. Yeah, I know you are. Or that he grew up in a madrasa.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Well, I maybe when he was overseas, because I think he did live overseas for some period of time. I may be getting my facts wrong on him, but they're just little things that'll come out to damage his perception there in the media, especially with people that listen to right-wing radio. Just like when the photograph came out with him dressed in the Sunni elder garb. That's
good stuff.
That's going to resurface again. I bet that resurfaces in a 527 ad. McCain won't use it, but someone on his behalf with tax-exempt status will use it.
I think it's awesome. I think McCain needs to have some balls and pull it.
Well, he's going to try. And McCain gives me hope that not all Republicans are neocons and idiots. That somebody out there can actually run a campaign from that party,
smut-free campaign.
With some class.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, it'll be John McCain.
Yeah, I mean, Dole was fairly classy about it, but of course George W. No class, no class at all.
What do you mean?
What exactly is he? He's white trash means with redneck dreams. I think no. I think I may have screwed that up, but
Stone's making a movie right now about George W.
Yeah, I had heard that.
It's called W.
It may be a little too early, though, for him to get into this.
But I'm just saying. I mean, they're calling it W, and two of the cast members got arrested over the weekend. Some bar, yeah. One of the guy playing W, and one of the other guys.
Anyone we know?
I can't think of their names. I don't keep up with that fanfare Hollywood stuff. You know that, man. I don't keep up with that trash.
All just a bunch of liberal elitists out there, huh? With the exception of maybe Sylvester Stallone, and I'm trying to think of some of the other conservatives out there. And Goldie Hawn, I think, might be one.
Sly just makes bad movies now. Oh, Rambo was good. The last one.
That's what I keep hearing. I bet that one was good. I did not hear good things about Rocky.
Rocky was awful. Awful film.
I heard it was marginally better than 5.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I can say that. I mean, it was just bad. Just bad.
But yeah, I was told to stay clear of that one. That one was a stinker.
Apparently, in New York, a woman is amazed that someone found her deceased father's lost dog tags on a beach on the University of D-Day, a battle that he fought in World War II. They were returned to them, returned to her, after her purse was stolen last February. Her father died in '83, and Port Authority officer found her purse while examining a fence close to the water at New York's Kennedy Airport. Said the bag had seaweed hanging out of it, contained a driver's license, credit cards, passport, and tarnished dog tags. Where'd you get this? The reason. I see. They found it on D-Day. Okay, so that's what made it special. Yeah,
I think it was planted, man. Too big a coincidence.
Yeah, they planted the news story. I killed this now.
No, they planted the dog tags, man. Somebody went out there for the rubes.
But anyway, we'll take your calls. 866.
Not there.
877-722-7382. That's 1-877-SCARE-YOU2.
Boom.
Or locally, 336-996-1596. It's open lines.
We may or may not have a surprise for you later.
We may.
Or may not.
Or may not. We don't know. I'm not Nostradamus. I cannot predict the future.
Potluck here tonight.
But neither could he, so I mean, he's really counting, right? I guess I could make a prediction that we may have something happen.
Or not.
Or not. Good stuff. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. I don't know why. We just got on. But we're going to reconvene our thoughts, and we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back in a few minutes after these messages from our glorious sponsors. And we're back.
On World of the Unexplained. That's my best Vincent Price impression.
That was awful.
It was, wasn't it?
It was terrible, man.
Actually, it's my best one is, yes. Like that guy on The Simpsons. I think he did the voice for Vincent Price.
I have no idea.
Maybe it actually was Vincent Price. I think he might have still been alive when that.
I think Vincent Price died in the 90s, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
You know what else he was on though? He was on Thriller.
Thriller Night.
He does that little spoken part on the bridge.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
The one movie he did.
What movie did he do?
He did Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, which
did a lot of
Poe
those.
film, D?
The Raven.
Okay, The Raven. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. That's a great.
The Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. And the Fall of House of
There we go.
Usher.
See, Chuck just broke into a great idea here. We're going to
Edgar
talk about best horror movies of all time. We've done this before, I know, but best horror movies of all time. Go.
Oh.
877-722-7382. 877-SCARE-YOU2. Best horror movies of all time and why?
Oh. Jeez. I mean, of course, I'm a huge fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
That was mine. But yeah.
I'm not going to say that's my favorite.
Oh, it's good stuff, man.
That's I mean, he gets you in your dreams, man.
Yeah, and that's what made it. No, that's what, honestly. I mean, if it was just a guy with like razor blades on his hand, it'd be something. That'd be totally gay.
But yeah, he's pretty nasty just by the virtue that
the burns
that he gets you. Well, and I think
the old fedora
he was the
hat.
spawn. I don't know if you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street 5. I think it's the one that has Roseanne and Tom Arnold in it briefly. But it gives the whole backstory on Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, where
his mother was a nun in a sanitarium, I believe.
Well, that goes back a little bit.
He's the product of her getting gangbanged by all the inmates.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Only on
stuff.
Wotu will you hear about gang banging a nun. That's a good soundbite right there.
You like that?
But no, yeah, and then they show the whole backstory with him and his little kids and the neighborhood coming after him and lighting him up.
Yeah, and there were some cheesy special effects and little Freddy spirits or whatever.
Oh yeah, always
Imbuing him with the Freddy powers.
Well, then they had the one.
That's a good series. I think movie for movie, that series is better than Friday the 13th or even the Halloween ones.
Okay, well now you're going to run into I don't know. I have something to say about the Halloween films, and I'll come to that in a second. But the nightmare stuff was good because it was something that theoretically it's just the idea was scary that you can go to sleep. I mean, you're at your most defenseless moment when you're in your dreams.
No, you're right, and everyone's got to sleep
sometime.
I mean, that was the whole deal with the first one too. The daughter, she was trying to stay up, night after night after night, and she was getting close there to the point of exhaustion, or even having cardiac arrest or something like that from lack of sleep. But I just thought of it now. My favorite horror film, and I'm not sure by today's standards if it would be considered horror, but probably my favorite, and I think it's a classic, is Jaws.
I would still consider that somewhat of a horror
Robert
film.
Shaw, Roy Scheider, and Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
Awesome film.
Good stuff.
And I mean, even though
that's a realistic, kind of playing on your fears of the ocean and the things.
Well, you're out there on the water, you can't see anything but the horizon for a good bit of the film. You got this giant shark, and a lot of the stuff with the shark was filmed, I think, with real sharks. There are a couple scenes that are mechanical sharks, but even those by 70s standards are very cool looking.
Sure.
It's not like some of the other films. I think there was another one around the same time that may have been capitalizing on it. Orca. Yeah, that one doesn't look nearly as good. But I think John Williams scored that one too.
Wasn't Jaws 3 like Jaws 3D?
3D. That one's rough. And that one's got Dennis Quaid, I think, in it.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to remember who else was in that film. It was also what was that show in New York? The one that played Michael Jackson, Jay Fox's mother in Back to the Future, Caroline in the City. She was in that too.
Okay.
And the bald guy from Iron Eagle, I think he was also in
Louis
that.
Gossett.
Yeah,
Jr.
there you go. Isn't that a hell of a cast?
His career went kind of
at least the
south.
At least the second one, I think they managed to get John Williams back to score new material for it. Roy Scheider was still in it.
If only Lou Gossett Jr. was in Ghostbusters, he could do that thing that Ernie Hudson's doing now. That
I
have lunch with a Ghostbuster thing.
Yeah, you're real down on Ernie Hudson after he shot us down because he's a do-nothing actor these days.
And we got shot down hard.
And he's not even doing Oz anymore, and he won't even come on the show.
Yeah.
What has Ernie Hudson done since Oz? And even before that, he was in that terrible Michael Crichton film with the monkeys. Which Congo?
Oh gosh. I feel bad for the guy that his career's not.
Well,
doing
he's been typecast as the black guy from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you're right.
That's just too bad. And he almost got out of it, but Oz was canceled after its 5th or 6th season, and they run its course. And now what's he doing? Have lunch with a Ghostbuster? Won't even do our show.
Now, if we paid him,
exactly.
He'd probably do our show.
No, he probably. Well, we could
have dinner.
We could go have lunch with him and bring a microphone,
tape recorder. But then we'd have to wait our turn.
Oh, I'm sure that's a deal breaker right there.
Probably
for the
is.
dinner. No cameras.
Yeah, no cameras, no recorders.
Yeah.
You can purchase photos of me and you after the lunch, but that'd be.
We're giving him ideas now.
Yeah. Anyway,
I think the scariest one I saw when I was a kid was Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember some of that.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton. She's hot. She is. I don't know. I haven't seen her recently. She's probably looking. I don't know, pretty rough. Well, I don't know. She got into working out quite a bit, man, and got real buff there. And I imagine that time hasn't treated her too well after all that working out. You kind of get to look pretty manly. Oh, these pointing his gut there. But no, I think out of more recent horror films, out of the new ones.
Well, let me go back to Halloween though. First,
Halloween.
The only not the only reason, but one of the reasons that Halloween was such a great series for me was because of the Doctor.
Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with it. I've only seen the films a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And usually on like Sunday afternoon on TNT.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, you hadn't followed it through.
No. Although the one thing I do think that's pretty cool about the series is that the mask that's on him is a William Shatner mask. I think a Star Trek Halloween mask.
Yeah.
That was painted white.
Yeah. Talk about low budget, right?
But I did check out speaking of low budget, a more recent film called Malevolence. That was written, directed, produced, scored, all sorts of stuff by the same dude. I think he might have even starred in it. It was his what is it? Citizen Kane, I suppose, if you want to go that far as to say it. But it was decent for him having done all of it, but not what I was expecting. Not the hype that I'd heard surrounding it. But the new series, I'd have to say, as far as horror flicks are concerned, that I really got into, and I haven't seen the latest installment of it, was Saw. Have you seen those, J. Scott?
I've seen the first one.
Just the first one?
Just the first one.
Consistently, I thought they've been pretty good. I mean, there are twists, and, it's kind of a thriller, and it's definitely real sick, man.
Oh, yeah, it's very sick. I just don't know. It's not my brand of horror. I'm not sure if I like it.
That's pretty creepy, though. And, I haven't seen a whole lot of the other more recent ones. The Ring, I thought, was a really good one.
I like The Ring. The Ring 2 was awful.
I have not seen it.
One Missed Call. It's out now on DVD. It's pretty good.
Okay, you were telling us that. I think you mentioned that on the show a couple of weeks back.
I like that.
Yeah.
The Omen was really good.
The Omen.
Yeah, the remake of The Omen.
Yeah, we had
we had the guy on the show.
Marshall Cup.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah. That's it.
That's what we're gonna roll with.
No, that was it. Marshall Cup.
Okay. Out. All sorts of good stuff here on Woe2 tonight. The noise you just heard was J. Scott ramming his head into the microphone.
Yeah.
So give us a call. Give us a call here before he does it again. 877-722-7382. Or maybe we'll just get him to do it again to entice you to call. 877-722-7382. Oh. You can get some feedback going through there. It's going to be real nice for the listeners. They're going to love you for that.
But Scream. Now that was a good film.
Okay, yeah, that was another one I was going to bring up, and the other one that came out around the same time. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, good book actually.
And I believe was it the second one? I think I've seen the second one a couple times on HBO. Is that the one that had Jack Black in it? Is no?
I don't think
no.
Jack
And
Black's...
he dies by getting a bong through the head.
I don't know. I'd have to.
I think that's I Know What You Did Last Summer too.
I don't think so.
How about like the cheesy horror films?
Cheesy horror films.
Like all the
like the Wayne's Brother remakes.
No. Like all the Don't series, like Don't Go in the Attic.
Isn't that the Wayne's Brothers?
Don't go in the closet.
Don't go in the closet.
Yeah, stay in the closet, please. Don't come out of the closet. How about that?
That's you, Tom Cruise.
Oh man! All those B-budget.
We're gonna get sued for defamation now. Although, except he's such a public figure.
Yeah, that would.
New York
if
Times we got
sued,
Sullivan. Then they'd have to sue. Yeah, exactly. New York Times, The Inquirer.
Yeah, I was just saying the public figure case, New York Times v. Sullivan. Yeah, public figure.
Yeah. Well, as long as you're doing it as a parody, which
Yeah, we were
fair use.
Yeah,
he's fair game anyway.
Totally.
Come on.
He's a Scientologist.
Not only that, but you go and you say something. Who was it he got into it with? Somebody. Oh, it was Brooke Shields. He was giving her all sorts of help for taking antidepressants after having her child for postpartum depression. I'm like, well, what business do you have? Well, first of all, you don't have a vagina, so I mean, well, maybe he does.
I was gonna say we don't know this.
Yeah. But no, if he truly is gay.
I don't think
one would say he doesn't, so he's not qualified on that.
I don't think
end.
he's gay.
And to my knowledge, he never got his PhD or his master's or any higher education in psychology or pharmacological studies. So he's certainly not an authority. He's certainly not as a Scientologist either. They basically believe in aliens that crash to the earth and release midi-chlorians.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. Who knows? Who cares? The Scientologists, they're weird.
And he's got the most of them. Cruise does. He's their Jesus.
He probably is.
No, he is.
Can he move stuff with his mind?
He probably can't.
No, he can probably cure people, though, with his
money.
With his money.
That's the way you advance in the Scientology club, though, right? Money?
Yeah, money.
Well,
money and fame.
from what I've heard, you actually have to give over a lot of your assets, or the majority of your assets, to Scientology, and then on top of that, in order to get in with them, they have to have something compromising on you. That's the rumor as to why Cruz and a number of other Scientologists have never left Scientology, even though it was detrimental to their careers. It was that they had compromising information or photographs on them. I mean, why else would who was the guy that was on South Park?
The chef,
yeah,
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, yeah. Why else would he leave a successful show like that's run for a decade over Scientology? I mean,
Scientology told him to leave.
Do you think he had that large a religious conviction that he was going to just give it up? Or do you think that they had something on him? They were blackmailing him in order to do so.
I don't know. Sounds like blackmail to me.
But you haven't seen the episode where they took clips of Isaac Hayes' dialogue from over the years and put it together for an episode, and then went and killed him off.
Oh, I didn't see
that.
And
it was just nasty. And of course, right before they know he's gone, Cartman says, "No, maybe wait, he's still alive," and he craps his pants. He doesn't just crap his pants either. He actually blows the seat out doing so.
Of course.
Yes, it's good stuff.
South Park style.
But he's not really dead. He was rebuilt as a pedophile Darth Vader.
Oh, that's good.
So, yeah, he'll be back.
As a pedophile Darth Vader. Oh, my gosh. Getting off topic, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, going back to the horror film thing, best horror film this year. What do you think?
I haven't seen any horror flicks this year. I have to say, it's pretty early in the year though. Usually, don't the horror flicks come out after the summer deal? I mean, because you usually have romantic comedies and the early months before the
blockbuster.
The big releases for the summer. Then you have the midsummer and the late summer. I mean, we almost have 3 or 4 different release times for the summer now.
Yeah, well, the summer movies this year just haven't been, in my opinion, all that.
I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I've seen Indiana Jones, but I haven't seen either the Hulk or Iron Man.
Iron Man was really good.
There are a few others that are coming out here too that look pretty good. There's what's the one that's coming out on the 25th? Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Batman. Yep.
And of course, there's that new Will Ferrell movie with John C. Reilly. That should be nuts. Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Step Brothers.
I mean, usually you just have an action-packed summer, though. I don't know. It just doesn't seem.
There have been a lot of big releases. In fact, there's the X-Files movie is coming out here too this summer. The second one. I think I will have to go to the theater to see that.
Was it going to have what's his name in it?
It's going to have Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Yeah, should be good stuff. And Chris Carter is doing the directing, and I think. I don't know who wrote it. But
Whatever happened with that show, anyway?
Yeah, they did have a final episode, and it was actually a pretty good final episode from what I recall. They managed to get all the cast back.
Did it explain everything?
I don't know if it explained everything, but it was they tied up a number of loose ends there and did leave it open for potentially another film like they're doing now. Yeah.
Well, if I saw the first movie, I really didn't get it.
Well, part of the problem was they burned a lot of bridges from the previous series. They ended up, killing a lot of other characters off. They ended up tying up other plot lines in the film. So when they came back to the series after the film the following fall, they didn't have a whole lot from the previous season to exploit. So they started introducing new characters. One of them was one that Mimi Rogers played, and another one was the one that Robert Patrick, I think, was later introduced. And then they ended up taking over the show as Gillian Anderson and Duchovny. Both, took their leaves from it until the final couple episodes where they managed to bring them back.
Kind of like Highlander and the Source.
Highlander and the...
Oh, gosh.
Please don't compare the two.
No, I'm talking about where they... in the series...
I love the
killed
first
off-
Highlander, the first film.
Yeah.
That's an awesome film.
That is a great
I can't watch a whole lot of the other stuff
but
related
like
to
from
it, though.
But from the
You're right.
series, they killed a bunch of people off, and then all of a sudden
They're
next
back.
movie, they're back.
They just come back. Yeah. No rhyme or reason. They're just back. And that was supposed to be released in a theater. Thank God it never made it because
It probably would have made no money
I mean,
whatsoever. It probably would have been a very limited release.
I would have went out and saw it.
Because I've seen some great films that were limited release. Cabin Boy comes to mind. Granted, this is not a horror film.
What a film though.
That is a hilarious film. It's probably at least one of my top 10 comedy favorites of all
the
time.
talking cupcake.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I believe the guy that did Batman and does all of all those films. What is his name?
Just hold on a second.
I don't know.
Well, he works with Danny Elfman, and I can't. His name is just escaping me.
Oh wow, we have a caller, Adam from Tennessee.
He's got some questions
What's
here.
up, guys?
What's going on, man?
What's becoming as regular a caller as Andrews and Hunter here?
That's cool, man. It's nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
going to have to give it a rest for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Keep us surprised.
No guest tonight.
Well, we had a bunch of people that we thought we had lined up, and well,
And then we're missing another phone number. Unfortunately tonight.
yeah, we're gonna have a slap down tonight.
We were going to try to hook up what we were talking about before with you, and
The Rich Anders, Ron Paul Hunter.
yeah, it just did not materialize tonight. Unfortunately,
That's gonna happen soon, though.
Hey, man, it was Royal Rumble SmackDown.
It's gonna be awesome, man. We'll try to set that up in the next few
Maybe we
weeks.
could get Rich's wife in on it too to
Man.
come in and yell at him while he's on the phone.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Anyway,
Last week, I thought when Marzulli was on and Rich Anders called, I was just like, uh-oh, this is going to be...
oh yeah, we thought the same thing. We didn't know what to expect.
It was a tutorial on web browsing.
So, what's your favorite horror movie of all time, man?
I'd have to say it's probably a toss-up between Halloween and Evil Dead 2, probably.
Oh, I'd even forgotten about The Evil Dead.
No, I don't consider Evil Dead a horror film, though, guys.
It's a cult classic for sure.
It's more of a comedy.
It's a B-budget horror.
It's a comedy. Come
Right.
on. I mean, it's good. I like it. I enjoyed it. I couldn't make it.
It's the same guy that worked on Cabin Boy on the same sets as those. I can't even remember
Bruce
the guy's
Campbell.
name offhand.
You talking about Bruce Campbell?
No, not Bruce Campbell. The guy that did the sets for Batman. He did it for Evil Dead 2. Or not, excuse me, not Evil Dead 2. The one after that, Army of Darkness. Man, what is his name?
What, who directed it?
Yeah, who did direct it? Do you know offhand?
Sam Raimi.
Oh, okay, well, the second one or the third one?
He did all 3 of them.
Okay, well, who did the sets then for the third one?
I had no idea. I don't know.
Oh man, that's who I'm thinking of. I'm gonna have to look it up here on the break. It's gonna drive me
Let me
nuts.
ask you guys a question. I sent you guys an email last week. Did you guys get that?
I'm sure we might have. What did it say?
It was about a paranormal conference
Oh yeah, we got
in
that.
Louisville.
Yeah. We're not gonna be able to make that.
Oh, really?
The reason being we're doing our Sleepy Hollow thing, and in October.
Louisville, where? Which state? There are a lot of Louisvilles. Kentucky?
Oh, Kentucky. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think maybe in a lot of the Midwestern states and a number of the southeastern ones too, you got a couple Louisvilles out there. It's like what is it? Springfield, I guess. Supposedly there's one in every state. I don't know if we have one here.
I think every state has an Athens.
You're
Really?
probably right. There's Athens,
I
Georgia.
was convinced of that.
Or maybe even Greenville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet California even. Well, no, because they actually have places that are green.
We have a Troy here.
Troy.
Yeah, Troy, North Carolina. It's out there too.
Where's your co-host tonight?
He is out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's got some family issues he had to attend to.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Chuck is it. He's the man.
That's right.
Third rail radio tonight, right?
Yeah, well, they won't let me, but yeah.
What's that?
Said they won't let me, but yeah.
Hey, Jay Scott, what do you think about that cover of the New Yorker?
I thought it was awesome. I love it. What did you think of it?
I just thought this is what they said. I thought it's kind of a parody. I don't think they meant any harm.
I don't mean, well, I'm just sick and tired. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat there. I'm just sick and tired of people apologizing for making people upset. What is this? Are we all, oh my gosh, you hurt my feelings? I mean, really? Oh no, he threw let me go tell the teacher. Who cares? I don't care if I hurt your feelings. You're a public figure. Be a man. Suck it up, Obama. Come on, and don't pull a race card on me.
I don't think
McCain
McCain liked it particularly either.
That's because McCain just has no. I don't know. He's lost all the manhood that he once had.
Oh, come on.
In the Hanoi Hilton.
What do you
I don't.
what?
I don't. I mean, he's just so apologetic. He's so. Why don't McCain get on the offensive, get aggressive, and come after this guy for what he really is?
He's running a campaign that he's the consensus builder. He's the elder statesman here. He's going to bridge both aisles,
and he's going to lose the race if he doesn't change his.
I don't know about that. The more and more I look at Obama, the more and more he looks like politics as usual. He always is claimed to be, my crap doesn't stink. I'm a new sort of guy. I'm a different kind of politician. And whenever he has the opportunity to do so, he always does the politically expedient thing. It's politics as usual. I don't know, man. I
think Ron Paul Hunter may have something to say about it.
No, maybe he will call in. Give me the smackdown. Bring it on, Ron. I'm ready for you. I'll take what's his name, Rich Andes's place tonight. I'll even do the accent while I debate you.
That would be good.
That thing, have you seen that thing on YouTube? It's all over YouTube. It's like McCain and some woman reporter asked him about why Viagra is covered in insurance.
Yeah, he didn't want to touch it. And it was probably one of the smartest things he could have done, because if he had made some, off the cuff sort of,
then all of a sudden he's a sexist.
Joke. Yeah. He either he was a sexist or he's an old guy that needs Viagra to get up. He looks basically impotent, to use that term politically. So yeah, it was probably one of the smartest things he could do to dodge it. Granted, it took him I think about 2 minutes to finally dodge it.
I mean, that's my question.
He kind of looked like a fool, though.
There's my question, though. When in America did we become so sensitive to anything anybody said? Since when can we not have an opinion about something?
Well, it's that the media, they have to sell they maintain an advertising revenue stream. They have to sell ad space. So in order to do this, they have to exploit whatever they can and put it in an echo chamber. And
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in America in general. They're like, everybody, every time you hear someone give opinion, they're like, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but, the way I feel about it is this. I'm like, bring it, man. You know what? I'm going to piss a couple people off tonight. And, that's just the way it is. If you don't like it, call in. I'll make fun of you. We'll hang up, and that'll be it.
Speaking of that, a question. What's up with the movie Talking Tall? Is that available?
Yeah.
Or is that, all I see is like a preview. I don't really see anything.
You can, I think you can buy that on the site. I'm not sure. I'm not in charge of selling that.
Yeah.
But it's actually got bought. I don't know if you can buy it anymore now. It got bought by Troma.
Oh, that's right. You should go on their site, man, and see if it's listed on there.
The people that did The Toxic Avenger, they ended up buying the film. So now I'm a Troma movie star. I want my IMDb credit.
They also did Cannibal the Musical by Trey Parker.
Really?
Yeah. It was awesome.
Read my mind, Chuck. I was about to mention that.
Where are you now? Hey, do you own it? I have that on VHS. I need to get a DVD copy of it.
Cannibal the Musical.
I'm in the dark here.
It's about these. Aren't they Mormons, Adam?
I'm not sure. It was the guy. I forget his last name. His first name. His last name was Packer.
Yeah.
Like in the 19th century, he came out of the woods.
I think it might have been Dick Packer, actually, or something like that.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But, I think they're moving westward to get gold or something, and it's sort of like the Dahmer Party. I think eventually they have to eat each other. But, yeah, the musical is just hilarious. It's possibly some of his best work other than the film they did. But, yeah, I'm a big fan of his work, man.
It's Trey Parker doing his best Michael Bolton impression in the middle of it. That's what I remember the most.
But Matt Stone's in it too. I think he didn't have a whole lot to do with it other than just acting in it. And there's one of the other guys that was in Orgasmo with them that shows up. I think even in the show. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. Very good stuff. If any of the listeners haven't heard of it, maybe there are portions of it on YouTube you can check out, or I'm sure you can order it from somebody even used through Amazon, or even get on the old eBay.
So who's on next week? You got anybody coming on next week?
We've got a couple leads we're working on.
Cool.
It's awful.
Gonna try to do the SmackDown.
We may end up doing that. I'm not sure. I've got a couple feelers out right now that I want to exploit. So
I'd love to get on board. I'll referee it, man.
And I'll just make bad comments throughout.
To the turnbuckle, off the top rope.
And here comes Rich Anders.
Jay Scott, I haven't seen a man take a beating like this since... I'm not even going to go there.
Since Dave Rosnack was on Third Rail Radio.
Ooh. He did take quite a beating.
Did you catch that episode, Adam?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it was awful. We felt bad for the guy when we were done. We apologized to him. We're like, man, we don't mean to beat you down so bad, but defend yourself.
What was he talking about?
Oh, he's just a liberal that wrote a book.
Well, a lot of it had to do with entitlements, and we, over and over again, we had to ask, well, who's going to pay for this?
And he's like, the rich should pay for it. And we're like, well, why? Because they should, because they can afford to.
Because they make more money. But at the same time, he did seem interested in the progressive tax scale as well when we mentioned, the flat tax and the fair tax. So
he was just confused, I think.
Yeah,
we need to have him back.
Yeah, I guess maybe set him straight again.
I don't think he'll come. I don't think he'll come back on. Didn't you invite him back on?
No. He emailed me back after because I think I spoke with him afterwards, and I was like, oh yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Didn't mean to be that hypercritical of you, and I invited him to come back whenever he had something new going on or whatever, and he didn't seem all that excited. The next day he emails me back, oh yeah, love being on the show, man. Love to do it anytime.
Oh, I thought he had some kind of work schedule issue.
No. Although he is a blue collar guy, but he apparently was a very green sort of guy too. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he aligns himself more with the Greens than the Democrats.
Hey guys, who's your favorite guest of, I guess, either show? I mean, who's like the person that really stands out for you guys?
For WOTU?
Huh?
For WOTU, there's been so many.
Stanton Friedman is one that I like quite a bit.
I wouldn't agree with that. I'm not a big UFO guy though.
What about Highgate Vampire?
The guy that did the Harp book, that wrote Harp, I remember liking that one quite a bit. The World War III guy was pretty awesome too. I can't remember his name.
You're totally
offhand.
going a different direction.
No.
My favorite, probably one of my two favorite interviews for me would probably be Bishop Sean Manchester and David Ferran.
Yeah.
That's probably the.
Yeah, I listened to those like back in 2006, so I remember really enjoying those.
Yeah, those are probably still the two that stand out in my mind the most as being some of the best stuff we did.
The Highgate Vampire stuff, that was just
good stuff.
I forgot about Prophet Yahweh. That one was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was good. Prophet.
That one was great.
Chris Roller.
Yeah, actually, he was a really fun one too. I had completely forgotten about Chris Roller.
Yeah, Chris Roller. I actually enjoyed the one that we had. The Exorcist. Was it? I can't think of the guy's name. He wrote the book Possessed.
I'm not familiar with him.
Enjoyed that one.
My favorite interview is
Wade Davis
from
Serpent and the Rainbow. That was good.
Yeah, that was a pretty good coup. You guys getting that guy.
that was hard to set up. That took months and months of back and forth emails. But that turned out really worthwhile. What was the other one I was thinking of? The Time Traveler, John Teeter.
Oh
Yeah.
I don't remember him off.
I don't think you were you were with us when we did that. That was really early on.
That was Oliver Williams,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Oliver Williams.
Well, as far as repeat guests too, the guy who did Haunted Missouri, he's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. Jason's always.
Yeah.
We should take a break here and call him, see if he wants to come on.
He always seems up
us.
for it. So yeah, he does indulge us quite often.
Yeah, we hadn't had him in a while.
Yeah, I think Rich Andrews is your best guest though, for sure.
He's pretty rare, man.
We get a lot of strange stuff going on here.
I don't know. Tom Van Flanderen was pretty.
Tom Van Flanderen was cool. Yeah. I know one. Good for Christmas to replay Pastor Harry with his Santa Claus effigies that he burns.
Well, how about David Icke?
David Icke.
I don't think I was here when we did him.
We had to do that pre-record.
Okay.
But yeah,
you should try to get him back on. That would be pretty cool.
I'd love to. I want to ask him about his president's book.
He's
The greatest story ever sold, or it's something like that. But yeah, it alleges that what is it, 42 or 43 of the presidents are all related, and one anomaly is Bill Clinton, who is Winthrop Rockefeller's illegitimate kid, which would make him, I think, the uncle of the guy who's senator in West Virginia.
Ooh.
You guys, it might have been you guys. It might have been on your show. I heard this about, like, supposedly there's this theory that Barbara Bush was the illegitimate child of Aleister Crowley. Was that
Whoa, no, I have not heard
That
that
wasn't us,
one.
man. That was some other second-rate show that you listened to.
She does have that sort of look in her eye, though, of a mystic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what show I heard it on, but it was like apparently like her mother was involved with Crowley and his
Oh,
Wow.
my gosh.
son, and that apparently this thought, because they've compared the picture of Crowley with Barbara Bush, and they think that she's his daughter.
Oh, my gosh.
It's crazy.
Wow.
We need some genetic testing
You
here.
look at the picture.
We need to validate this.
Yeah, you're like you hear it, you're like, oh come on, that's not true. But then you look at the picture, you're like, oh my god.
Well, let me turn the tables on you. What was your favorite show, Adam?
I'd probably have to say I really like the stuff you've done lately with Marzulli. I think that's some good stuff.
Definitely.
The Terry James stuff.
Yeah, I need to get Terry
good.
back on.
Tom's Horn, I really enjoyed him too.
Yeah, that was good. That was very good.
And probably the Exorcist guy that you're talking about, the one that wrote the Real Exorcism book.
You know, I'd like to get Steve Quell on. You know what I'm talking
he'd
about?
be an interesting one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And you know, I've invited him on several times before, and I've never had a response from him. And you know, some of the guys I've had on are friends of his. You'd think he'd take a hint, get on the show.
Maybe he just doesn't check his email.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to just call one of his buddies up. And
I think Marzulli knows him. From what I've heard, I'm not sure.
I should get in touch with Mr. Marzulli and see what I can do. We've got some good stuff coming up though, where we have been working behind the scenes to try to bring the show back. It's just kind of gotten into a lull because well, you know, we all work and most of us work. Yeah.
Hey guys, I know you're tired of hearing it, but you got to get some podcasts up.
Oh, we're actually working on those. We've got like 3 in the bin now that I've just got to publish.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, 3 more.
See, if you leave them in the bin too
pleasure.
long, they throw them out.
Yeah, so they've kicked them out before us. Yeah.
I mean, it's July, you know.
Hey man, we're up to what? February.
We got to contemporize here.
Come on, man.
February.
It's Christmas in July. Yeah, we're going to work on that. We're diligently working behind the scenes on that. Very, very behind the scenes, but we're still diligently working on it. And some of the times we just haven't had guests.
I'm trying to listen to the show live as much as I can. So.
See, there we go. That's what we're doing. Right. We're forcing all of you to listen live.
Yeah, I guess it really does if you don't have anything out there to listen to.
And they're like, oh well, maybe I'll tune in Monday night at 8:00.
That's been your plan all this time. It hasn't been just you being lazy. It's a marketing
tool.
strategy.
Well, Adam, man, we're going to take a really weird break here in kind of the middle of the whatever. But thanks for calling in tonight, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. All right, later, man.
All right, man.
And you're listening.
I'll try not to call you guys too much.
Oh no, it's cool,
it's
man.
All good, man.
We love talking to you, man. We really do.
I'll tell you some large vulture stories next time I get on.
Cool. That sounds like a plan, man.
All right, man.
All right, take it easy, Adam.
You have a good night.
Thank you, man. You too. All right, you're listening to World of the Unexplained. We're going to take a short one, and then we're going to come back.
All right, we're back on World of the Unexplained. If you'd like to call in and chime in with us, myself and Jay Scott.
Please chime.
Yes, please do. At 877-722-7382. That's 877-SCARE-YOU-TOO.
Or locally.
Yes.
That's awful.
I'm not giving you the full one because I think I clipped the preamp on this thing.
Go ahead.
Did.
Give us the full one.
Yes. I still didn't give it my all there.
Hey, come on, man. You can do better than that. Just step away from the mic a little bit.
I got to prepare for a second. One second, listeners. Yes. I was still a little low. You need a little more falsetto there. I think at the end, but that was definitely closer. Definitely closer for what I was going for.
This is awful.
Yes, it is. So please give us a call, 877-722-7382, so I don't have to
do this again.
Yeah, I'm not your trained monkey, Jay Scott. This was not part of the deal when I agreed to do this tonight.
I'll start doing my George W. impersonation.
Please no.
Or my even worse Dan
It was
Rather
like,
Good.
yuck.
Anyway, but yeah, have you guys seen this paranormal kids thing? Have you seen this?
They got superpowers?
You were talking about it, but no.
Yeah, I saw a bit of it. It was like, what's the name of the show? It's on one of the cable channels, maybe A&E.
Is it on the high tier?
What?
You know,
The high tier of
extended
cable.
tier.
No,
yeah.
I don't know.
Where they stick all the channels no one watches?
No, I don't. I think this is more in the middle.
I think it's the same.
It's like an A&E Discovery.
Yeah, I think it's.
I thought maybe he was hanging out with Bloomberg and
type
Speed
thing.
and
Oh no! It's up in your regular
Fox News
cable.
Business.
No, it ain't hanging out there. It's a show, and it's like Paranormal Kids or something like that. It's just horrible what I saw of it anyway. It's like all these kids going, oh well, I see dead people, and I don't want people to treat me like I'm different. And
They've watched one too many M. Night Shyamalan movies.
oh,
it
totally,
sounds
man.
like.
It's just like I don't know. I think the parents probably bait it too. Oh yeah, little Johnny, he can see dead people. I mean, you know what I'm saying? How can we make a buck off little Johnny? I don't know. It just seems to me to be kind of dumb. And who wants to watch that crap? I don't know. Apparently, it's just where is the media gone? What's up with all these reality TV shows? They've just gone to. It's awful.
Well, I've got to mention one that I managed to get hooked on.
Oh no!
Over the last week.
What?
I Love Money. It's on VH1, and it's not even. It's one of the trashiest ones you could even think of. It's the people that participate in it are cast-offs from other reality series.
Oh my gosh!
That have all been, brought onto this new show
because they don't have any money left.
Right. I mean, because they're all, let's face it, whores. So you've got people from Rock of Love, and I've never even heard of some of these other ones. I Love New York, and a number of these other shows all on together. And they're all basically, they're not even B-listers. They're celebrity or reality TV celebrities, if that's even a term. But yeah,
yes, it is now.
It's just, so I guess they're professional reality TV show. So they're all playing the game and hedging their bets and making their alliances and
kicking
and
people
everything.
off.
But there's this one goofy white guy. I guess he's from Boston. His name is Mr. Boston. I guess that's because they all have nicknames on it. One guy's name was White Boy. Another one's name is Midget Mac. And I guess I don't want to give away too much for those of you who
actually
haven't
want to
seen
watch
the show. But yeah. He's the first to go. I think it was stacked against him in the first place.
Mr. Boston?
No. Mr. Boston actually pulled it out there. It looked like he might be sticking around for a while because he's just comic gold. I've known guys like this, and he's just one of a goofy guy, and he knows how to play the game. I have to say so.
Mr. Boston.
I think he'll be there till maybe the Final Four at least.
What a gay name,
Mr. Boston. But yeah, he's the punching bag on that reality show.
It's like
Don't check it out. It's called I Love New York. Or not, excuse me. That was one of the other ones that they spun off into this one. I Love Money.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What's happened to the world? When do we stop reading books, people?
That's what I'm saying. Would you like to make a public announcement for our
I mean, really.
book provider here?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Schiffer, they've got some good ghost books out there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do a public announcement.
I'm not going to do a public announcement for them, but I will say that they do write a lot of ghost books, good stuff. What's happened? Why don't people read books anymore? They just sit in front of the boob tube, and it's gotten so bad that they don't want to pay for. That's why it wasn't such a bad thing that happened when all of the writers did the strike, because guess what? There just wasn't really that many shows that they're writing anymore. I mean that's why TV stayed on.
No, you're right. There weren't a whole lot. I mean, there are a couple series. House, they made a big deal about that. I think Desperate Housewives and a few of the other big shows.
Boston Legal. I mean, I like that show.
Yeah, but there aren't a whole lot of them, I guess, that it affected terribly.
Yeah, because most of them are running reality TV.
Well, and now because of the strike, it's kind of screwed up a lot of the scheduling. So I guess there aren't going to be new shows for a lot of these series till next fall. But guess what? I guess they came to some sort of a collective bargaining agreement out there.
Sure.
Hopefully people are making residuals now on DVDs just because they weren't written in there in 1989.
Now, see, back in the day when the studios controlled everything, they're like, well, okay, you're fired. It's like, okay, well, we don't need you. We'll hire other writers, and
yeah,
you'll never work in this town again. and that'd have been about the way it would.
Well, I think that was actually the case this time too. I know Bill Maher made a speech on his show about how a lot of you guys that bailed and thought your jobs would be here when you got back.
Guess what? Gone.
A lot of you are gone.
Yep. And I mean, that's capitalism. I mean, do what you got to do.
But now, because of collective bargaining, if they ever get a job again, they'll be seeing those residuals.
Yeah. Well. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. I'm not claiming to know. I just think that once again, let's get rid of the reality shows. Let's put these guys to work. Let's get some actors and actresses.
I think these people are tapped out. I don't think they have any new ideas. There are only so many times you can reinvent the wheel.
There's only so many reality shows you can do too. I don't want to watch reality when I watch TV. Do you? You turn on the TV to escape from reality.
Yeah, but at the same time, the reality shows aren't really reality. How many
they're
people,
fake too. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it's extremely contrived. You got fairly good-looking people all in a mansion in a lot of these cases playing games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's real? What's real about that?
That's a very good. That's a very good description of most of these shows. Got a bunch of good-looking people in a mansion playing games. That's true. That's true. And then kicking one off every week.
Exactly. That's real life, isn't it? That's what I do when I go into work every day. I almost had an expletive there because I was so angry about it.
Which guy are we going to kick out of the workplace today? Steve. He's been kind of slacking over there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I've kind of made an alliance with him though early on. We're buddies.
He was on this other reality show that I was on, and we didn't really mesh over there. So I'm getting that guy off of here.
That's right. Today, I'm putting his name in the jar. It's just awful. And then they had the one was it the latest one that I saw when I was flipping through channels? It was like some chef, Hell's Kitchen, I think was the name of it.
Actually, I kind of like that one. I'm not even. I guess it's a reality show. It's sort of like these, give you a new wardrobe or whatever. Redesign your house. It's sort of like those shows. They go into
America's Top Model.
Well, to restaurants, or I guess high-end restaurants in a lot of cases.
Okay,
where
and
they're underperforming for what they could be doing, and fix it.
Okay,
for them.
and I can see American Idol. You get a record deal at the end of it. The Hell's Kitchen thing, you get like a restaurant you can chef at, right?
Well, they fix it so you can run a successful business, because one would assume a lot of these cases, you go into the kitchen, you're like, yeah, these people are barely. There was one episode where I saw this old guy that was nearing retirement, was working 120 hours in the back of his restaurant a week, and it was just deplorable conditions. He had this nasty like beef stock kettle in the back, and the German guy on that show just
But anyway, the point is though, like I was saying though, you get something on a lot of these shows, and then I saw that one, America's Got Talent. Okay, what do you get? What do you win if you're a contortionist and you can bend your legs around the back of your head like a pretzel? What do you get? I mean, a porno contract.
I was just thinking. Yeah.
What do you get though? I mean, what do you get if you're a skateboarder that can do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's certain things, I don't know what all they do, but dancing and all this other stuff is just like, what can they give you at the end of it? You just win?
I don't know, maybe go on to the extreme games, man. That's big in this country.
You know what I'm saying?
Is skateboarding in those competitions? I don't know.
I don't know. No, I know what we need on. We need the guys that came up with was it American? What is it? The Ninja one? What's it called? G4?
Nah, I'm not familiar with that. Well, it's on G4.
Yeah.
Who Wants to Be a Ninja?
It's something ninja.
There
Ninja Warrior. That's it, man. You haven't seen this? This is a good program for reality show, because it is real. You've got like you've got the whole like obstacle course that they go through, and there'll be like 200 people that go through it, and like maybe 3 will make it, and then they go to the 3 that made it go to this next part 2 of the obstacle course. And it's all physical. It's like hardcore physical obstacles that they have to get through. And then like maybe 1 will make it, maybe none will make it. And if nobody makes it, that's just the end of that show. I mean, that's it. And if no one makes it to the end, no one's the Ninja Warrior, and it's just done. It's over. And I mean, this is like 4 or 5 episodes into it. You've been watching the whole time, man. You get to the end, and like one guy's there, and he don't make it. And that's over. That's it.
No.
Yeah. No, no Ninja Warrior by default. It's just it's the deal or no ninja. It's a pretty good show, man. You should watch it sometime.
It reminds
Saturday
me, I
when you're
guess,
bored.
a little bit, although this was a pretty cheesy reality show that was on Sci-Fi. It's Stan Lee's Who Wants to Be a Superhero. They actually had 2 seasons of it. And the second season, if it could have possibly been, it was worse than the first.
It was, unfortunately.
It was very at low budget. In fact, the second season, maybe they had less of a budget, so they had to scale down the special effects and the challenges and stuff for all these
What
people.
did they do?
I mean,
some of them, the first
a
one
lot.
were actually...
The first one did have some serious challenges. You had to go through an obstacle course through like attack dogs, and there were some serious things they had to do on the first one for the sets of challenges. But this last one was just a lot of platitudes, it seemed, and a lot of opportunities to answer questions and how can you be the best superhero you can be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Like on the first one, there was like hidden challenges. So
Yeah.
they tell you to run from point A to point B.
I don't think that show will be
fast as you
getting
can.
renewed anytime soon.
But then there was like a child who was lost or looking
Yeah,
for mom.
usually there'd be some sort of side quest to divert you from it, and what your choice, how you handled that, had a bearing. But even in the second season, it didn't even seem that there was that much of that going on. I mean, it wasn't even like they had time trials or anything for a lot of these things either. But yeah, it was rough, very rough.
And then again,
of course, I had to watch it too. I was hooked as soon as I
going back to
watched
watch
the first couple. Yeah, Stanley.
Reality TV
Yeah.
is just bad. I mean, it just goes back to that each time. Bad for America. It's rotting our brains.
They need to have a Star Trek one.
Oh, my God.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, I just saw on the ticker on G4, was it this last weekend, that the Star Trek experience in Las Vegas will be shutting down as of September the 1st. So all of you that love you some Star Trek and have never seen the Star Trek experience out at the Hilton in Las Vegas, go check it out.
What
While
is
it's still there?
What may I ask is the Star Trek experience?
Well, it's 2 different experiences, I guess. One of them is sort of like actually, I guess they're both kind of like IMAX things, but they have actors and stuff in there too on the tour as you go through it. That there's some pretty creepy stuff going on. I don't want to let it give it away for anyone.
You might as well, man. It
Well,
ends in September.
Yeah, it does end in September.
And this podcast ain't going to be up until like
That's true.
way into October.
Well, one of them allows you, they beam you up onto the bridge of the Enterprise. They escort you, I guess, to the shuttle to evacuate you from the Enterprise, and then in the shuttle there are all sorts of combat sequences and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's all like force feedback. It's pretty nasty, actually.
I bet you were just you were just full of joy, weren't you? When you went through the whole
I've been
thing?
out there twice actually. When I was out there in April, I went on both of them. There was a new one out there too.
It was just
that I hadn't
brimming
seen
over.
before, which was a Borg one where they all sort of assimilate you. And at one point, you're all sitting in the IMAX seats after the walking part of the tour and the ride. They have you sit down in the seats and put on 3D glasses, and like there are these little things that like come out at you in 3D, and you can feel them like hitting you in the back. And at one point, there's like a pretty serious one, and there's one in your seat that hits up, and it hits you right in the red eye. The brown eye, excuse me. And everyone when that happened, you could hear them like snickering, and it was good stuff, man. And of course, I was already 3 sheets to the wind before we even got on the thing, so.
Wonder if they've had accidents.
I almost
from that.
feel as if I didn't give the proper amount of respect because of that to it. Now
Yeah,
that I know that
probably.
it's never going to be there again.
Yeah, but I bet you were just over brimming with joy on all of those occasions.
And some of the stuff, a lot of stuff they have in cases on the walk up there because they've got a whole timeline of Star Trek as you walk up to the ride. But they've got a lot of stuff. Some of them are facsimiles of stuff that was on the show or in the movies. Some of them are the real deal. And you know what I saw while I was there? It was the real deal. It was the weapon that killed Captain Kirk. It was almost like seeing the weapon that killed Abraham Lincoln.
Oh my God!
Seeing John Wilkes
Wow.
Booth's pistol, Soren's little plasma rifle or whatever that thing he had in Generations. I saw the real deal, the one that he actually shot Captain Kirk with.
That is just that's something.
Well, and it's analogous because Captain Kirk met Lincoln in the original series. What was that? He died. Lincoln died again in that
my
episode,
God.
and it broke Kirk up. To see Lincoln die for the second time, almost
Mr.
insinuating he'd been there
Mr.
for the first one.
President, what are we gonna do?
No, that's an awesome one. It has Genghis Khan in it. I'm trying to remember.
Oh my gosh! Do you have all these on DVD?
No, I still have them on VHS, man.
No,
Eventually.
I mean all the episodes.
Yeah, on VHS.
You have all the episodes on VHS.
Yeah. I have some of them on DVD. But
No,
I have not replaced all of my VHS with DVD yet.
You were one of those guys back before the DVD phenomenon when it was either 45 or 48 would run the Leonard Nimoy would host it, and they would run the Star Trek marathon for like 2 days or something.
Oh yeah,
You were one of the guys that stayed up.
Top 10 count. Oh yeah, of course.
Watched the whole thing, didn't you?
Of course, man.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and you know, you would see usually the best. Although I seem to remember one of the top 10 ones they did. It was in 91 or 92. It was around the 25th anniversary. It was very controversial because the number one episode they had in their top 10 was Trouble with Tribbles, and I know a lot of Star Trek fans, including myself, don't find that one to be one of the greatest original series episodes.
What is the greatest original series episodes in your mind?
I think if I had to pick just one off the top of my head, maybe, well, Doomsday Machine's a good one, but no, the 2-part one they did that was off the cage, which was the pilot they rehashed with Jeffrey Hunter into a 2-part episode with the Star Trek cast. I think it is a finale for maybe season 2, but it was called The Menagerie. It was a 2-part episode. And
I think
it
I've
was awesome.
seen that.
It's
Actually,
very awesome.
I have seen that.
I think that maybe Star Trek 3, the plot from that was partially taken from those episodes. So there was a lot of recycling done there with that concept. But no, there are a lot of other great episodes. What is it? Piece of the Action, the gangster one, is one that I like quite a bit. Patterns of Force, I think, is another one, which is the Nazi episode, which is a very good one. I'm trying to think of some of the other. Devil in the Dark is one that doesn't get a whole lot of play, but that's a pretty good one.
What was the first one where
Tholian Web actually may be my favorite now that I'm thinking about it. That's an awesome one. I think that one won an Emmy for him back in the 60s. But that's the one where Kirk's trapped in an alternate universe and they can't get him back, and they keep trying to get him back, and things just keep screwing up, and eventually the Tholians come there and they start building this web thing around him. Like, oh, we're done for. But everything turns out well in the end. Yeah. But yeah, it was really hairy there for a while.
Kirk came back. He wasn't wearing the red shirt.
I can't remember, and the immunity syndrome might be what it's called. I may have the name wrong on that one, but that's the one where they go inside the giant amoeba. That one's awesome too.
What's the one where Khan was actually
Khan? Oh, Space Seed. That's a very good one. Yeah, with Ricardo Montalban for the first time. Here we go.
I can't believe you remember all these titles.
Because I've seen all these episodes. The original 79 episodes, I've seen ad nauseum. I mean, some of the other series, especially the latest Enterprise series, a lot of those episodes I've only seen once. Some of them I might have not ever even seen.
Really?
But I've seen most of all the Star Trek series. But the original 79 I watched religiously as a kid. So yeah. Even the titles and everything, a lot of it sticks with me. Friday's Child's another good one too. That's a pretty good one. You remember that one, D? With the knights on that planet with those little things that went when they threw them at him.
What was the other one where the guy was basically played Napoleon?
Oh, the Trelane character. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of that one's called offhand. But yeah, the Trelane character that was a pretty good one too. I think the same actor that played the Klingon in Trouble with Tribbles.
Hey, I think that's where they got the idea for
Q.
For Q.
Yeah, in fact, they've even exploited the whole connection between the two in some of the novels.
Yeah.
So, yep.
All right.
Very good work there, D.
Thank you, man. I'm right there with you, buddy.
I'm just here.
If you have a favorite episode of Star Trek, feel free to give us a call here. 877-722-7382. That's 877-722-7382. D, you have any favorites offhand, man? I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't remember actually the name.
There are a number even of the other series. There's what is it? Beyond the Pale Moon Light of Deep Space Nine is one that happens to be out of all the series probably one of my favorite ones too.
Go back in time and they first
no, there's no time travel in it. It has to do with engineering a war, man. A lot of sneakiness, a lot of deviousness, and yeah.
Well, I like the one where they went back in time and actually were on the space station.
the Trouble with Tribble. Is that what you're talking about? The one where they did
where they met the Klingons.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the Trouble with Tribble's Redux.
Yeah.
And they had the crew of DS9 come back to the Trouble or the space station where Trouble with Tribbles was set back in the original series.
Yeah.
And they did a pretty good job having them interact with the old footage. It looked better than Fred Astaire dancing with the vacuum cleaner for sure.
right, here's your challenge, sir.
What's my challenge?
Ron Paul Hunter.
Ron, how you doing, man? Wow. I don't speak binary.
Ron, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on, man?
No, not much. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm sorry?
I said, how you doing tonight?
We're doing good, man. Your phone's kind of cutting in and out on us, though. What's going on?
Anyway, just calling basically to say hello. I heard some of the Star Trek stuff that was on earlier. How did this?
Did you understand that, D?
No.
You speak Cylon?
No, I didn't understand a word.
Wow. Yeah, that.
Try it again, Ron. We can't hear you.
One more time, man.
All right, how about that?
There we go. Great. Much
It's crystal
better.
clear.
It's all in how you hold the stupid headset, man. This thing is a real piece of work.
What's going on?
Nothing. I just caught the last few segments of the discussion about the Star Trek episodes. Who's that leading? Is that Trent?
No.
No,
Chuck.
this is Chuck filling in for Mr. Lackey.
Yes. I mean, you remember the names of the episodes. I can remember a lot of those, and I thought they were really, those were some of the better ones. What did you think about the movies?
Oh, as far as the films, man, well, of course, Wrath of Khan, I think that rates with most Star Trek fans as well as non-Star Trek fans is probably the best of the whole series. Of course, 2 and 3 tie in really well with it too, because it's almost actually Shakespearean, where you've got the tragedy, you've got I don't know, sort of not the resolution to it, but then you've got the comedy as well there with 4. So all 3 of those go very well together. I think 5 is fairly underrated because Shatner did it. The special effects though are horrible. They did not use ILM in number 5. Number 6, I would have to say, might be my second favorite. Possibly because everything's in that one. That one's a thriller. It's got political intrigue. You've got the courtroom drama. You've got space battles. I mean, everything's going on. It's social commentary. That one's a very good one. An Undiscovered Country, named after was a line in one of Shakespeare's plays.
Yeah, those are all there. They had a really good tear. I mean, the whole series. I like the Next Generation. To tell you the truth, I liked watching that on. That's the latest one that would get back-to-back coverage on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I got to sit and watch some of those. It used to come on Monday night. I would be actually watching it in the background when I'd be calling in some nights to check out some episodes that I had missed.
Well, I think Generations actually is one that the fans particularly don't like, that I happen to like quite a bit too, because the whole Nexus thing. There seems to be some threads too, some themes that they managed to keep reoccurring throughout the whole thing about time and entropy, which I think are pretty cool, especially since it's Shatner's last film, since they're not going to let him in on the new project. It seems that they're underway filming right now. Apparently he was excommunicated from the project, but I guess Nimoy, from what I've heard, is on board.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense because...
No, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to leave Shatner off the bill if you're going to have Nimoy. Although I guess maybe turnabout's fair play. That Nimoy didn't want to do Generations, so that they ended up nixing a lot of the other cast because I guess DeForest Kelley wouldn't do it after that, and after that they were like, well, if we're going to have DeForest Kelley and Nimoy, what do we need all these other guys for anyway? Let's just scale it down. But I don't know, Ron. What are some of your favorites, man? Episodes or films?
I had like my standard 3, 4, or 5. I liked some of the old school science fiction, like The Day the Earth Stood Still, like the original version of the film. There's Forbidden. I thought that was real classic science fiction.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
Oh, what one was that, Ron? We didn't hear it. Your phone cut out there for a second.
Oh, I was saying the last one was the Forbidden Planet. Have you ever seen that one?
No, Forbidden Planet.
Yeah, the one with they land on a planet and there's like a scientist there with his daughter, but if you fall asleep on the planet and there's this alien technology, they will create a monster out of your subconscious. In other words, you had to be perfect to live on the planet. It was one of these highly technical civilizations, and there was nobody that...
I was asking you about Star Trek, man, but I'll definitely have to check that one out. Forbidden Planet?
Well, those are all contemporaries of what made Star Trek so popular, was the movement into space had begun, and people were exploring, and there was also a big UFO scare that was in the 50s. So the product of having the draft-based military and then these unidentified flying objects naturally made a show like Star Trek extremely popular in the 60s, because it allowed people to not have to say, okay, I saw a UFO or I didn't see a UFO. The subject then became as a human being, how do you respond to being outside of the environment of the Earth? What do you represent? What do you take with you? And I thought that in that context, the whole series was great because it often did that. It crossed the bridge between radio and theater. Like it used to be radio theater, or you would go to a theater or a movie, and it would answer a moral question for you and yet entertain you as well. And this combined both of those with high technology. And it gave people, although it still had a lot of military aspects to it, it was very naval in its military aspects. And then,
Gene Roddenberry, I believe, served in the Navy, as well as maybe one of the other, Gene L. Coons, who also worked on the series. So they did a lot to keep the nomenclature in the series and in the universe very, very real world and very, very nautical. I guess a lot of that came from the U.S. Navy.
Right. Well, I mean, the way the Navy operates is all very mathematical, and it's all very formation-based with checklists and things like that. So as just an instructional vehicle as a TV show, it was also a great TV show because it got people with a nautical mentality, and they didn't really realize that that's what they were doing. So, I mean, it's the difference between look in your house. If you have a bookshelf and it's not screwed to the wall, then it's not a nautical bookshelf, that sort of thing. Thinking about being in space is a way of thinking about your life. It was also a way to respond to how do you adapt your civilization in case you go into something like a nuclear war, where the only way to survive would be in a highly regimented shelter system, which would be derivative of the public education system and your behavior that you would learn there. In other words, it would be like going back to school, except everybody would have to do it. And you would live in something like a ship. That the ship is also an image a lot used in Christianity, or most religions, but I'd say especially it becomes a symbol of Christianity because of the persecution. And that sometimes the only way Christianity would survive would be that people would literally have to pick up and run for their lives. So I think it touched on all of that. What do you think?
Oh, I was going to ask you, actually, out of the series, do you have one that you favor over any of the others, and is there a reason why?
Well, each one makes its point, and it depends, I guess, and the great thing about the series was you could identify with different characters or different aspects of it. Like, there were some that were very military and nautical, which I like for the way that the ship was handled or some tactical thing that happened. And a lot of them I like very much because they dealt with the more aesthetic and emotional issues, such as how do you deal with situations of power? How do you deal with situations of true alien cultures? Do you automatically, it was offering alternatives besides just going for your gun. That it was always the responsibility to determine the level of intelligence of whoever you were communicating with and try to determine what their ultimate goal was before you just, because remember, at that time America had the biggest gun. We had the nuclear gun, and once you pull that out and start to use it, there's no going back. So I thought it was a great show along all those lines, and that he was very smart and knew how to share what he had learned in the military through the entertainment and with the extremely talented actors that he had to get his point across.
Well, there's a great deal of social commentary in that too, and I think that's part of what bothers me maybe a little bit about a lot of the people my generation that prefer the Next Generation over the original series is that a lot of the time on the Next Generation there's this perception that that they're very high and mighty, very secular, and that everything always works out for the better because that they're more evolved society, sort of a my crap doesn't stink attitude. And the old one, and even DS9 to a certain extent, both were grittier and more about political expediency and had more going on with political and social intrigue and just commentary ongoing in both of them. Did you get that perception having watched the different series?
Definitely. In the original Star Trek, it was just much more subtle. It was very much like the Russians and then the Chinese and then the West Coast. You had the Romulans and the Klingons and then the Vulcans and the humans. And then maybe some just totally tripped out thing made of pure energy or a giant. But
at the same time, Captain Kirk usually, would be left a lot of situations where he had to do the expedient thing and not the right thing because of limitations on it. And just a lot of the time, I don't get an intellectual honesty out of some of the plots with Next Generation, or maybe even Voyager to a certain extent, because it always seems as if they can always find the right way to go about doing it. Not always, but maybe 90% of it. And I know there are a lot of times where Kirk just had to leave things the way they were. And what was the one piece of the action I was talking about with the gangsters? I think there was a ship from Earth or from the Federation about 80 years before they crashed and left this book on there, and it tainted their civilization. It was against the Prime Directive. And he went down on the planet and brokered a deal between two mob factions, and it said, well, we're going to take a cut as the Federation, so you guys better be watching yourself. We're going to be expecting it every year.
Yeah, but those are the same guys that are, will put you in that alternative universe with Yangs and the Combs. Remember that one where it was America?
I think that was in the real universe, though, Ron. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. There was another captain that had lost his entire crew because there an infection on the planet, so he had to beam back down, and he thought he was going to bottle the new fountain of the youth. So he managed to ally himself with, I guess, the communists on that planet, which. They were all in feudal times. It was sort of weird, but I guess they had evolved and it was post-apocalyptic in the end.
It was post-apocalyptic. That's what I was going to bring up. What I meant to say, I misspoke, was to say I was watching Star Trek Enterprise, the latest one that they finally took off the air, I think, after 2 or 3 seasons.
Well, when they finally got some writers in there they could do something with it. Once all the guys that jumped ship that had been working on the franchise for 15 years went to go do Battlestar Galactica and some of these other more successful series, they finally brought in some writers that were, really going to work with the concept of doing a prequel, and then they decided to cancel it. So, but go on, Rod.
I like that was the original Star Trek was it dealt with a lot of end of the world scenarios. There was the one where the guy had white and a black face, and the other guy was black and white. And they were the two races on the planet, and when they stole the ship to get back to their planet to continue the war, they found out that everybody was dead. There was a lot.
I think it's called "Let This Be Your Last Battlefield." Is that what it's called, D?
I can't remember the name to save my life.
I believe so. And the guy that played the Riddler from Batman was one of the two guys.
There were several where the planet was going supernova, and they had sent the whole population back in time, and they were all going to live in the past. I thought that one was very creative. It involved a lot of time travel, and it also had some. It had a great story. They would use a lot of sets, a lot of different areas to get their point across, and that's what the whole show was back then. But they would approach all the subjects that were modern subjects without you realizing they were doing it for you, helping you think them through, I guess. So you had a starting point. So the modern technology would just blow you away because it's a pretty big jump from pre-World War II to post-World War II. So we're looking at another big jump now. A lot of people aren't sure where the economy's going, right?
So we got to cancel Star Trek.
Well, maybe you shouldn't cancel Star Trek. Maybe that's where I see a lot of things in the future, a lot of technological breakthroughs that are poised, a lot of things that people can do with each other, and a lot of people are looking. We always when I call in, we talk about politics too. And what did you guys see the Obama caricature today on TV?
Oh yeah, Adam Sane from Nashville asked us about it too. He asked Jay Scott what he thought about it, and Jay, would you like to share with Ron what your response was?
Good stuff.
It may have been a tad over the top, but then again, no one's feelings should be hurt. It's satire. It's just a cover. New Yorker does it to everyone. I seem to remember a year or two ago, or it was whenever Brokeback Mountain came out, they did a parody of Brokeback Mountain with Dick Cheney, and it was around the time he shot that lawyer too, Dick Cheney and George Bush.
Well, yeah, I would say it'd be an uncharacteristic bad taste, and perhaps it's time for the New Yorker to feel the social pressures of change. I don't think
what? The social pressures of change? You've got to be kidding me.
Well, there's times when the country's under various types of stress. It's like we don't do duck and cover every day in the schools.
He's not even the president of the United States. He's just some guy running.
I'm trying to make a point here. The point is that if the pressures are on the nation to execute a proper functionality of the Constitution politically, then we should do so, and we should all support whatever happens.
But the Constitution, the First Amendment.
Freedom of
speech, Ron.
Freedom of the press.
It's not
Ron,
freedom of political
Ron,
correctness.
That kind of thought is the reason why that we have the mob rule that we have today. That's the reason why that there's no right to vote in a federal election, and there shouldn't be. That's the reason we were set up originally as a republic instead of as a democracy.
Well, those were also limitations of technology. You had to be set up as a republic to allow adequate communication time for the country to be run in the frame that it was at the time. I don't think people are missing the fundamental aspects of our Constitution. I think it's how the Constitution is being applied is what poses the greatest threat to our country's survival now.
And what would you? How would you apply it, Ron?
Well, in the first place, it's probably not. We should probably all hope that it will not become my personal job to figure out how to apply the Constitution. But
that's true.
If I was going to start with, I'll go right back to one
Supreme Court, I guess, to do that, don't we?
Well, we do, and my advocation is not that we need one Supreme Court, but that we need more than one Supreme Court. We need 3 or 4 Supreme Courts to divide up and concentrate.
But we kind of have that already with the federal court system, with the nine districts. Is it, Jay Scott, that we have nationally?
9 circuits.
Or excuse me.
Years though. That's so bogged down. It doesn't get anything done in a timely manner. But that wasn't the point. The point was the Constitution, how to implement it. Right, so we were going to talk about going through politics, and I'll go right back to some area we loved to argue about before. Was I heard on the Al Sharpton show, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Why do you listen to that trash?
Replay. It's not trash. It's radio broadcast.
I'll have to see if we can get him on third rail. Actually,
licensed radio broadcaster. I wish he would go on there. And he played Martin Luther King Jr.'s prophecy. He said, unless people will respect the Constitution and all people will be considered equal under it, truly meaning that you fellow Americans are your brothers in as much of a respect, and also in a very Christian manner, that a country that we don't know will come and enslave America through a means, and it won't be a normal thing. It'll be a bad thing, like a very bad country.
Well, that's what's going on now.
Right, through communist China. So what I'm saying is, for us to understand this, and for you to understand why a President Barack Obama will get elected by a landslide, is people will hear that over time. And they will say, and this is, remember, I didn't make that speech for Martin Luther King Jr. I just heard it as late as this last year. So I'm just putting this into my spiel, if you will, at the last minute. But what it basically said is, if we can enforce a constitutional system, find somehow to make it all work, and that is a somehow, quote unquote. I've got hours worth of recorded material on your own website about how to make it work. So,
well, Ron, we've got to go. We're at the top of the break. Thanks for the comments. Thanks
the end
for
of the
calling.
show, really.
It is the end of the show. And
right.
give us a call later. We'll be talking again soon.
Okay.
This is Jay Scott, your only JD DJ on the OmniSound Radio 1 network, saying good night.
We out.
At least on Star Trek, they all spoke English.